Picture this. It's Monday morning. Your feed is flooded with people posting their 5 a.m. gym selfies, their gratitude journals, their ice baths. They're up before sunrise, hustling, grinding, wearing exhaustion like a designer label. Meanwhile, you're still in bed at 10 a.m., thinking about that massive project you want to build, that business idea that could change everything. And society looks at you and says one word: lazy. But here's what nobody talks about. You're not lazy. You're just refusing to waste premium fuel on garbage tasks. Your ambition is sky high. Your energy for nonsense is zero. And according to neuroscience, that's not a character flaw. That might be the most sophisticated cost-benefit analysis system a brain can have. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you will completely flip the script on what productivity actually means and why your brain might be playing 4D chess while everyone else is stuck playing checkers. Let's start with the obvious question everyone's afraid to ask. Why do you have massive dreams but can't seem to get off the couch? Turns out there's actual research on this. Your brain has what neuroscientists call a selective activation system. Basically, your brain is a high-performance sports car that refuses to run on regular gas. While the hustle culture crowd gets their dopamine hit from any activity, checking emails, posting LinkedIn updates, reorganizing their desk for the third time, your brain looks at those tasks and says, absolutely not. It's not broken. It's discerning. Studies on effort discounting show that some brains have an extremely sophisticated cost-benefit calculator running constantly in the prefrontal cortex. That's the part of your brain responsible for planning, long-term thinking, and executive function. And here's what makes it fascinating. Your brain only releases motivation chemicals when the reward is worth the energy expenditure. You're not getting dopamine from busy work because your neural reward system has standards. It's waiting for meaningful progress towards significant goals, not participation trophies for breathing. According to neuroscience, this isn't laziness. This is ruthless efficiency. Your brain refuses to waste neurochemical resources on tasks that don't move the needle. You're not unmotivated. You're hyper-selectively motivated. And that changes everything. To understand why, we need to look at 3 specific evolutionary mechanisms. The first one takes us way back. Let's go back 50,000 years. Your ancestors are standing on the savannah, and energy is literally the difference between life and death. Not money, not status, calories. Every unnecessary movement burns fuel. Your body might not replace for days. And here's what's wild. The people in your tribe who ran around all day doing busy work, chasing every small animal, fidgeting, constantly moving. They died first when food got scarce. Evolution didn't reward hustle. It rewarded efficiency. Your ancestors were the ones who stayed still, observed patterns, conserved energy, and only moved when it really mattered. They didn't waste time hunting rabbits. They waited for the mammoth, the big win, the game-changing kill that could feed the tribe for weeks. They were strategic, patient, calculating, and when they finally acted, they acted with devastating precision. This isn't laziness encoded in your DNA. This is an inherited survival strategy. Your brain is still wired to conserve energy for the hunts that actually matter. The hustle culture people, they're the descendants of those who burned out chasing every shiny distraction. You're the descendant of the strategist who understood that real power comes from knowing when not to move. But wait, it gets weirder when you look at what's actually happening in your brain right now. This brings us to the second factor, which is purely chemical, and here's where your brain gets really interesting. Dopamine, the motivation chemical, works completely differently for you. Everyone's brain has a threshold, a minimum reward level, before it bothers releasing the good stuff. People in hustle culture have low thresholds. Their brains throw a dopamine parade for checking emails, posting motivational quotes, color-coding spreadsheets. It's like a slot machine that pays out on every pull. Constant, tiny hits. Feels productive. Accomplishes nothing. Your brain, sky-high threshold. Your dopamine system looks at small tasks and literally says, that's not worth the neurochemical expense. While their brain is a dollar store handing out participation trophies for breathing, yours is a prestigious awards ceremony that only gives out Oscars. Their brain rewards activity. Yours rewards achievement. And here's the kicker. This is actually called reward prediction error in neuroscience. Your brain has recalibrated what counts as worth it. Research shows that people with high achievement orientation but low daily task completion often have different dopamine receptor densities. Your prefrontal cortex, the planning center, is in a constant argument with your striatum, the action center, and the prefrontal keeps vetoing tasks it deems unworthy of your limited energy reserves. It's not that you can't do laundry or respond to emails. It's that your brain experiences those tasks like asking a philosopher to get excited about watching paint dry. You're capable of it, sure, but at what neurochemical cost? So while everyone else is getting their fix from fake productivity, your brain is sitting there like a patient predator, waiting for prey worth hunting. And this difference in wiring explains the massive disconnect between you and society. This brings us to the third factor. While they're addicted to fake progress, you're addicted to real impact. They're not productive, they're performative. They're addicted to the feeling of being busy, not actual results. It's motion without progress, activity without achievement. Psychologists have a term for this: cortisol addiction. Constant stress becomes their baseline. They need the chaos to feel alive. Their nervous systems are fried, running on adrenaline and caffeine, mistaking the sensation of drowning for the feeling of swimming. They work 80 hours a week and accomplish what you could do in 8 focused hours. Their brains are in a constant state of shallow engagement, skimming the surface of everything, mastering nothing. Meanwhile, you're practicing something psychologists call strategic procrastination. You're waiting until your brain has processed enough information in the background to execute at maximum efficiency. When you finally move, you move with precision. You're the sniper. They're spraying bullets hoping something hits. And here's what makes it even more interesting. Your brain is actually working when you look idle. While you're lying on the couch scrolling, your subconscious is solving problems, making connections, building frameworks. Your brain is composing symphonies while everyone else is listening to elevator music. You're not lazy. You're discerning. You're not unmotivated. You're strategically dormant. You're a lion, not a hamster. And lions don't run on wheels. They rest 20 hours a day and hunt with lethal efficiency when it counts. That's not a bug in your system. That's the entire operating manual. Let's move beyond neuroscience for a second and talk about what this really means. Society has trained you to believe that constant motion equals value, that exhaustion equals virtue, that if you're not performing productivity every waking moment, you're somehow failing at life. But here's what they don't want you to realize. Your laziness is actually a form of radical autonomy. You're refusing to participate in a system designed to drain your life force for someone else's profit margin. While everyone else is scattered across 50 mediocre pursuits, you're concentrating nuclear-level energy on the one thing that could actually change everything. This isn't procrastination, this is intentional energy allocation. You understand something profound that most people spend decades avoiding. Not everything deserves your effort. Not everything is worth your finite reserves of focus and creativity. The hustle culture crowd is out here trying to boil the ocean. You're waiting to strike the match at exactly the right moment. Your ambition isn't dead. It's hibernating, building pressure, gathering data, waiting for the exact right moment to detonate. This is how empires are actually built, not through constant motion, but through explosive, concentrated action when conditions align perfectly. You're composing the entire symphony before you ever pick up an instrument. This is the mindset of strategists, inventors, and revolutionaries. Not worker bees, not cogs in machines. You're the architect who spends months in quiet planning before laying a single brick. And when you finally build, you build monuments. So the next time someone calls you lazy, remember this. You're not broken. You're not unmotivated. You're not wasting your potential lying on that couch at 2 p.m. You're just refusing to waste rocket fuel on toy cars. Your ambition is massive, your energy is finite, and you're smart enough to know the difference. They're addicted to motion. You're committed to impact. You understand that real power comes from knowing when to move and when to gather strength. You're not behind, you're loading. And when you finally launch, it's going to be with precision they'll spend years trying to replicate. You're not playing their game, you're playing a completely different one with exponentially higher stakes. If this resonated, please subscribe and like the video. Also, tell me in the comments, what's your most ambitious goal that everyone thinks you're too lazy to achieve? Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.